And hello, everybody. Here we go. We're going to do Revelation chapter 17, and it's going to be amazing. Now, we are going to have at least one monster beast, but it's one that we've seen before. But we are going to have a lot of drawing. We're going to draw a lot back here. We are in the end of the book of Revelation. We're getting pretty close to finishing this thing up, and we're going to see some exciting endings. It's the time when things are really getting intense and difficult. We ended with judgment. I mean, that looks like all of a sudden like a giant golf ball. That's supposed to be a hailstone. I don't know how to make it look. I'll do this. Hail. There we go. Now if I just draw an arrow with the name on it, now you know it's hail. So hail falls on them. And so this is just a really rough judgment that people were dealing with. And they were drinking the wrath of God's judgment. So this was a hard time. And it's going to continue showing some of these hard things and the complicated things that are going on. So we're going to pick up in chapter 17. And there came one of the seven angels that had the seven bowls and spoke with me. All right, remember the bowls? One of those angels comes up and says, "Come here, and I will show you the judgment of the great harlot that sits upon many waters." So this is an ugly, terrible woman who's sitting on the waters, with whom the kings of the earth committed fornication. So kings all over the world were sinning with this lady, and they that dwell in the earth were made drunk with the wine of her fornication. So she didn't just get kings of the earth to sin, but all the people who were living on the earth were getting drunk from the wine of her sinning and her fornication and all these sexual sins that she was involved in. And he carried me away in the spirit into a wilderness. And I saw a woman, all right, get ready, sitting upon a scarlet-colored beast. What color is scarlet?
Purple.
Red. So she's sitting on a red-colored beast full of names and blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. Hey, have we heard about something with 7 heads and 10 horns before?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this is that serpent. This is Satan. So she is sitting on this red dragon beast that has 7 heads and 10 horns. If she is sitting on Satan's back, is she with Satan or against him?
With him.
She's with him. So we know she's a sinner. And the woman was arrayed or wearing purple and scarlet and decked with gold and precious stone and pearls, and having in her hand a golden cup full of abominations. Remember, up here we have this cup of God's wrath that people had to drink. What is her cup full of? Abominations and sins, even the unclean things of her fornication. And upon her forehead is written, get ready, she's got a lot on her face, mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and of the abominations of the earth. And I saw the woman drunk with the blood of the saints. What was she drinking?
The blood of the saints.
That means that she's probably not literally drinking it, right? Because it's a vision. But if she was killing the Christians, she was getting drunk off of that. Drunk with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Jesus, the people who died for Jesus and who testified about Jesus. And when I saw her, I wondered with a great wonder. All right, so that's what we have here. What did we see? Start telling it to me. I got to draw it off.
On a dragon beast.
Yeah, so there's a lady sitting on a dragon beast. And is she nice?
No.
Not at all. All right, what color is the dragon beast? Scarlet. So I don't have the room and the time to do all 7 heads. So I'm gonna put like 4 or so. I'll show you a quick, easy way to draw dragon heads like this. All right, you can draw eyes.
Red.
Kind of slanty eyes. And then you can come in with
Mhm.
I'm going to come in with another color, and then you just draw angry teeth. And then angry eyebrows. I showed you guys how to draw angry eyebrows, right? You just draw a V. Have you ever drawn so many angry eyebrows in your whole life? All right, and on the heads are 10 horns. Again, I don't have the time and space to do all that, but we'll get a bunch. I'll put 2 on each. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That guy's got a lot of horns. And on the horns are, does it say it has crowns on them?
No.
No, I think in the earlier vision there were crowns on those horns. All right, so there is the heads of the dragon, and then the lady is wearing purple and red, which apparently you're not supposed to wear those 2 colors together. So that she's already really bad.
That's kind of that's a little silly. It's like he's wearing purple and red. Dan, you're wearing purple and red together.
You got that right. But I'm no lady. I also have other colors. I also have other colors too. Cut me some slack. You got that right. All right, so there's her beautiful hair. You got to give her really fancy hair because she's trying to seduce and get people to sin with her. So she needs fancy hair, and she's trying to be pretty and all those sorts of things. And I'll draw her feet. She's riding this beast side saddle. All right, so then she's on the beast, and then it's got necks going out to all these dragon heads. So there's all these dragon necks, and it's got big claw feet down here, and there's its body. She's riding on this beast. Okay, let me give her some. See, look how terrible this dress looks. And it might be that I'm not good at drawing dresses. Yes, that's the reason. But you got to put jewels on her, right? So let's give her some massive earrings, and then necklaces, and wrist bracelets. Maybe I should do some other colors. Do some orange. I'll put some gold bangles on the bangly things because she's wearing all this jewelry. You can put rings on her fingers and bells on her toes. So she will make music wherever she goes. You got to give her a wine glass. And what's she drinking?
The blood of the saints.
Blood of the saints. So you got to put red in the glass. It seems like all the liquid in the book of Revelation is red, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Oh, and she's got to have red lipstick. That's fun to draw. There she is. And it says, how does she feel? Is she just like normal having a good day? No, she's drunk on the blood of the saints. I don't know how to do drunk eyes necessarily, so I'm just drawing kind of worried eyes and trying to tipsy. I'll give her an ugly nose just because it's fun. So there she is. So that's the lady. Doesn't she look beautiful?
Yes.
That's what sin does to you. So she was trying to look fabulous and look amazing and trying to get everyone to sin with her. And she got a lot of people to do it. And the more you sin, well, just to be quite honest, the more you sin, the more trouble you get into and the sicker you become. There's even a lot of sins that make you physically sick, make you feel sick and act sick and can mess you up. It also said that she was on many waters. I don't know exactly how that's supposed to work with the vision because she was on the waters and now she's on the beast. So I'm just going to put some water underneath her. All right, so there she is. She's out there, and she is doing this stuff. And it's supposed to be kind of this ugly sight. It's supposed to be this thing that's not very good. Oh, she's got something on her forehead. Do you remember what was written on her forehead? Do you remember what word? The key word?
No.
The key word was Babylon. I don't have enough room on her forehead. I'm going to put it over to the side.
Yeah,
Do you remember hearing about the word Babylon earlier in the book? In an earlier chapter, it said, "Fallen, fallen is Babylon the Great." Well, in this chapter, she's still sitting on the dragon, but she's going to fall. And so it's like it's retelling that story. Now, the city of Babylon was destroyed in the Old Testament hundreds of years ago. I've said this a couple times before, but I'll say it again. That must mean that I don't think the old city Babylon was taken out of the ground, reconstructed, and stuck on the back of a dragon. I think that there is some city, some place that was going on at the time when John was writing, and he says that city is like Babylon of old. That city is going to fall just like Babylon of old would fall. And that's what we're going to find out in this chapter. I think that in this chapter, that idea becomes the most clear. All right, you can keep drawing the crazy lady on the dragon while I get back to reading. Now, the last thing that we ended up with was John wondering and marveling at what he saw. And I wondered with a great wonder. Well, no wonder. He's looking at a crazy vision. And the angel said unto me, "Why do you wonder? I will tell you the mystery of the woman and the beast that carries her." You know, almost every time there's a mystery in the New Testament, somebody reveals what the mystery is, which means it's no longer mysterious. I will tell you the mystery of the woman and of the beast that has 7 heads and 10 horns. The beast that you see was and is not and is about to come up out of the abyss and go to destruction. Okay, so that beast, that means it used to be alive. It is not, that means today it is not alive, and it is about to come up. About to. In the future, it will come back up out of the abyss. So it's been locked away somehow, and it's going to come up to perdition or destruction. And so that's what this beast is. It was really bad. Right now, it wasn't totally bad, but it's about to get bad again. And they that dwell on the earth shall wonder, they whose names haven't been written in the book of life from the foundation of the world, when they behold the beast, how that he was and he is not, and he shall come. There will be people in the world who will look on that beast and wonder and think, wow, he is awesome. At least the people that aren't in God's book of life. Here is the mind that has wisdom. All right, here is the explanation. Here's the wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains. Okay, so remember how Satan has always had those 7 heads? So let me draw it. Here is the lady, and she's sitting on, let me draw her beautiful hair, and she's sitting on this 7-headed dragon, right? There he is. Let's pretend that those are 7 heads. I only drew 3, but you get the idea. So this lady, the 7 heads, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, they stand for 7 mountains. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, on which the woman sits. So the lady is sitting on the dragon, but it also says that she's sitting on 7 mountains, right?
It also said she was sitting on water.
Right, so there's this water. We'll get to the water a little bit later. I'll draw a little bit of squiggly water. Did you know that the city of Rome, and you can look this up, the city of Rome was built on 7 hills. In fact, it's also known as the city of 7 hills. And so I think that that's a clue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This lady is sitting on 7 hills, just like Rome is sitting on 7 hills. I think that that lady is supposed to represent Rome. The 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sits. And they are also 7 kings. All right? Rome had lots of Caesars. Rome had lots of kings and Caesars, and they had lots of power. Oh, they would use the laurel wreath. I don't know. Let's just pretend that this is what a Caesar looked like. And they had all this power, and they would get people to listen to them and watch him. And so they are 7 kings. So Satan has 7 heads, and his 7 heads represent the hills of Rome, as well as the different rulers of Rome. Okay, so Satan must be really using the power of Rome a lot. Okay, they are 7 kings. I'm going to keep reading now. Let me get up here. 5 have fallen. That means 5 died. 1 is alive. The other is not yet come. Not king yet. And when he comes, he must continue a little while. So are these kings forever?
No.
No.
Right. It's just this little while. It reminds me of that times time and half a time, right? 3.5 years. 3.5 years would be long, but not forever. So not forever. I don't know if 3.5 years is what little while means, but it just reminds me of that. And so people have gone and figured out, okay, what are the names of the different Caesars and the different kings? And you could figure that out and line it up and figure out, okay, 5 have died, 1 is alive, and this is the future. So you can kind of get a guess on when John was writing the book. There is a little bit of confusion about that, but you can look at history and see the way people do that. The beast that was and is not, so that's Satan, is himself also an 8th. Oh, so Satan's one of those kings.
8?
And is of the 7. And goes to perdition. That's the old-fashioned word for destruction. So what we have here is Satan. Satan is really using the city of Rome and its rulers to hurt the Christians. And if you go back into history and read about what Rome did to the Christians, that really makes sense. Rome was a very dangerous country, and it hurt Christians all over the world. And the 10 horns that you saw are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but they receive authority as kings with the beast for 1 hour. Okay, so remember how the dragon had 10 horns?
Mm-hmm.
Each horn was a king. But these kings didn't get kingdoms. So my guess is these were maybe powerful rulers or governors or kings of other countries that Rome let have some power. So not the Caesars, not those Caesars that we talked about before, but other kinds of rulers, okay? That's what those horns are. And they get power also from Satan. But for how long? Only an hour. So it's not like this is going to be a long, long time. They have one mind, and they give their power and authority to the beast. That means that these guys, they're worshiping Satan too. They're giving all that they have to him. These shall war against the Lamb. So all these horns, here's a horn, there's a horn, and I'll give it a face. Oh, it has to be a frowny face, sorry, because they're doing a war. They're fighting against the Lamb. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And remember when we looked at that big Armageddon fight the other time?
Mm-hmm.
So this is just another description of how Satan was using these different armies and these different powers and his horns and his ugliness to fight against Jesus. What's going to happen to them, do you think?
They're not going to be able to.
You got that right. And the Lamb shall overcome them. For he is Lord of lords and King of kings. And they shall also overcome that are with him. And they also shall overcome that are with him. So anyone who is with Jesus, are they going to lose if they're with Jesus?
No.
No. They're going to overcome also. So they can even fight. I don't think we're called to fight, but if we're with Jesus, we are going to be winners also. We that are with him shall also overcome. We are the called ones. We are the chosen ones of God. We are the faithful ones of God. And then he said to me, the waters, remember the waters in the picture?
Mm-hmm.
The waters which you saw where the harlot sits are peoples and multitudes and nations. All right, so there was a lot of waters, right?
Yeah.
What are those waters? They are people and multitude and nation. And so it sounds like she's just floating on this sea of people. What do you think? Are these the good people or are these the bad people?
Bad people.
They're the bad people. Maybe they didn't want to be, but they aren't with Jesus, right? They didn't decide to follow Jesus. Maybe they got the wrong mark on their head. People, multitude, nations, and tongues. And the 10 horns which you saw, and the beast, these shall hate the harlot. What? They're going to hate her?
You are.
The horns and the beast. Wait a minute. Why would the horns hate the lady? This is interesting. But think about this. What do we know is going to happen to her? We already read this in another passage. It said what? Fallen, fallen is Babylon the Great. Maybe that's when they start to not like her. All right, we get back here. Oh, come on, wake up, phone. There we go. They're going to hate the harlot and shall make her desolate and naked and eat her flesh and shall burn her utterly with fire. Oh my goodness. That's a pretty big hatred. For God did put in their hearts to do his mind and to come to one mind and to give their kingdom unto the beast until the words of God be accomplished. And the woman whom you saw is the great city, which reigns over the kings of the earth. So that woman, we know for sure here, that woman, she is the great city. When John was writing this book, the book of Revelation, there was only one city that you would call the great city. When I lived in New Jersey, and then even when I was living in New York, if anyone ever said the city, they were only talking about New York City. There were a lot of cities in New Jersey, but if you said the city, everyone knew you were talking about New York City because it was the big one. So I think when John is told, this woman is the great city, then we know that that must mean it's Rome. And so we don't see exactly why they hate her in this chapter, except that God set it up for them to hate her. We're going to find out why in the next chapter. But it really comes down to they sinned with her and then she falls. How do people feel when sinners go down? Instead of helping them, usually they turn against them. Think about the story of the prodigal son. Remember how the prodigal son got all of his money and all of his stuff, and he went off into a far country, and he spent it all partying with all of his friends. And eventually he lost all his money, and he was hungry, and he needed help. What happened to those friends? Did they stick around to help him?
Mm-mm.
No. I think that that's what's going to happen here. there's all these people down here. And she was sinning, and they put up with it, and they were down here, and she's floating on top of them, and she's not treating them well, and she's making them do whatever she wants them to do. And when she gets toppled by God, do you think they're going to try to help her? Nope.
Yeah.
No. That's another important thing to think about on why sin is so bad. This gives us a very clear picture. When you sin and you go down this path of selfishness and sexual immorality and fornication and stealing and hurting other people and saying bitter things, drinking the blood. I don't think you're going to drink blood, but if you see somebody fall and get hurt and you laugh because you're excited that they're going down, when you fall, people won't go to help you. That's the way the world works. And these people that she's crushing, they're just going to be happy when she goes down. And that's scary. There's only one person that can help you when you go down. You might have a friend. You might have something like that. But really, if you've sinned and you fall and you are in trouble, who is the one person that can help? God. Jesus died because he loves you and he wants to forgive you. God sent his son to die for you because he loves you and he wants to forgive you. He sent his spirit so that you can understand his heart and his will for you because he loves you and wants to forgive you. But I don't think she's going to turn to God for help. That's really sad. All right. Well, that's all of chapter 17. Do you have any questions? No?
Why?
All right.
Why is
Oh, you got a question, Citizen? Sorry. What's up?
why is the people waters?
I think one clue could be Rome was one city, but it ruled the whole earth. Well, not the whole earth, but all around the Mediterranean Sea and all over Europe and all the way over into Iran and Northern Africa. And I think the idea was maybe they used the water for travel. We know that they did that. Even Paul the Apostle used the water for travel. And so many waters covering everything, all the peoples all over the world. I think that that's the idea. Good question. But that's just my guess.
Oh.
Well, I think that's going to be it. And I will talk to you guys later. Thanks a bunch.